These 5 books right here might just be one of the best fantasy series ever written. Why did I wait so long to read them? Many of you know that I'm currently obsessed with 80s dark fantasy, and because of that, a lot of you have recommended that I read the Chronicles of Prydain. But unfortunately, the Chronicles of Prydain came out in the 1960s, the first book released in 1965. So even though a ton of you told me how good these books were, I did what I did best, and I did not listen. And I was wrong to do so, I can admit that. Now, even if you've never heard of the Chronicles of Prydain, chances are good that you've heard of a movie that was based on them called The Black Cauldron. Disney released this animated movie in 1985, and it is loosely based on the first 2 books of the series. Strong emphasis on the words loosely based, because even as a longtime fan of this movie, I can tell you that the books are so much better, as usual. The books follow a young man named Taran, who is an assistant pig keeper of a prophesizing pig named Henwin. Things kick off in the Book of 3 when Henwin is scared, runs away, and Taran now has to go and get her back. However, this inciting incident starts him on a grand adventure, and along his journey, he ends up meeting a whole cast of incredible characters. There's Princess Elanwi, who is descended from a long line of enchantresses and refuses to let anyone tell her what to do. Flute of Flam, a king-turned-bard who carries around a magical lie-detecting harp. And of course, everyone's favorite half-man, half-beast Gurgi, who is sort of a weird combination of Gollum and Samwise Gamgee. But that's really just the tip of the iceberg, because every book in this series introduces a whole bunch of new and quirky characters, every single one of which somehow manages to be important and memorable to the story. And while the first 2 books especially of this series can feel a little bit derivative to things like Lord of the Rings, by book 3 the series quickly evolves and becomes something all its own. What I love so much about the world of Prydain is that yes, it is dark and scary at times, but at others it's silly and ridiculous. I also love the way that we watch these various characters mature over the course of these 5 books. Taran and Elanwi especially start out as bickering children, but by the end of this series they become brave heroes, leaders in this land. My favorite book in the series was actually book 4, Taran Wanderer. In this book, Taran and Gurgi strike out on an adventure all their own, as Taran attempts to learn where he came from, who he is, and who he's meant to be. And much like Becky Chambers' Monk and Robot series, this is a book I think you'll walk away having learned something about the characters as well as yourself. But while there are a ton of things I love about the Chronicles of Prydain, I think the thing I love most is that it has an incredible epic finale. In book 5, The High King, every single character, both major and minor, from the other 4 books returns in some way. And these aren't just brainless cameos. Every single character has an important role to play in this final chapter. And the ending of this series, the ending? Well, I won't give it away, but I will tell you, it's perfection. It's bittersweet, beautiful, full of tears, and it will leave you wishing you could stay in Prydain just a bit longer. And I will mention that you actually can stay there a little bit longer, because there is a sort of 6th book. The Foundling and Other Tales of Prydain is a collection of short stories set before the events of the Chronicles of Prydain, and each and every one of them gives a little bit more information about the various characters and artifacts of this world. All of that to say that the Chronicles of Prydain is phenomenal, and I'm so glad I finally read it. The Chronicles of Prydain gets a 5 out of 5 from me, and if this video wasn't enough and you want to hear me rant even more about these books, I just released a YouTube video where I go super deep into the characters, the lore, and even Lloyd Alexander himself. Have you already read the Chronicles of Prydain, or have I convinced you to read them? And what other fantasy books or series do you think I should check out next? Let me know in the comments. What if I just immediately reread these? I think that's fine.